Good morning, everyone. We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, via YouTube streaming, and also via Skype online. Each one of you is welcomed to this live streaming. Going within fragrance of nothingness. Buddha is talking something very extraordinary through nothingness. If you want to know what is the fragrance of nothingness, you have to go into life, into some situation where opposites meet. When you have an opportunity where you have to diffuse the two opposites, the yes or no, where you have to diffuse male-female energies into some situation. Many times situations like these come. Those who have the opportunity of male-female relation, in this relationship, if you enter into meditatively, as a therapy or whatever way, and when the yin and yang, the Shiva and Shakti are dissolving into one another, you will get the fragrance of nothingness. In a situation when two people are asking or you are there, you have to choose between yes or no. It becomes difficult sometimes to make a decision where the opposites meet into one another. That is where you experience nothingness, the fragrance of nothingness. If you are in a male-female energy, male-female relation, where yin and yang, Shiva and Shakti merge into one another to create something which is not known by as such, that is the moment of nothingness. That is the moment of absolute merger into one another. And that is the time when you get the fragrance of nothingness. When world and God meet, when opposites are no longer opposites, when male is no longer male, female is no longer female, they are just pool of energies. And when positive and negative energy merge into one another, dissolve into one another, diffuse one another, then you enter into the realm which is nothingness. In ordinary language, we call this state of orgasm, but it is momentary. And even in that moment, we are swayed by so many other things and we forget what is the purpose of real male-female relation. Only in the merger of the opposites, when the drop merges into the ocean, then you will have a taste of it. The taste of it is the taste of, you can call it Tao, you can call it Zen, you can call it Hesed, you can call it Yoga, whatever name you want to give. No name can encompass its magnanimity, its beauty. The word yoga is meaningful. Yoga means, it comes from the Sanskrit root yug, means coming together. When man and woman meet, it is yoga. They come together, they really come close, they start overlapping one another, then they disappear into one another. The drop is coming slowly and slowly, being pulled towards the ocean, and then a moment comes, it completely dissolves into the ocean. Then they do not have the centers anymore. The male center dissolves into the female center. The conflict of opposites disappeared, and that is a state of utter relaxation. That is a state of nothingness, when everything that has been obstructing the space within the room has been removed. You can say this: there is no furniture, there is nothing in this room. You will say nothing, but there is something in it which you cannot understand. That something and that nothing merges together. In a way there is emptiness, in a way it is full, and that fullness is bliss. The word yoga is meaningful. The conflicts of opposites has disappeared. There is utter relaxation. This relaxation happens momentarily between a man and a woman in their relationship, in their act. But this can happen with the total, with whole, in a non-temporal way. It can happen in an eternal way. In love, you only have a drop of this ecstasy. In ecstasy, you have the whole ocean of love. This nothingness can be achieved only if there is no emotional debris, there is no thoughts clouding your innerness. Those are the clouds that are hampering your inner space, obstructing your inner space. Have you ever watched the sky in summer? There are no clouds. It is clear, clean, crystal clear, not a speck of cloud. Then comes the rainy season. Thousands of clouds come and whole earth is surrounded with clouds. The sun disappears. The sky is no more available. This state of mind, this is the state of the mind. Mind is constantly clouded with emotional debris, with clouds floating in the inner sky, constantly clouded. This state of mind is your state. It is the rainy season of your consciousness. The sun of awakening is no more available. The light is hidden, hindered, and purity of space and the freedom of space is no more available. Everywhere you will find yourself defined by the clouds. When you say, I am a Hindu, what are you saying? You are getting caught by a cloud. The thought that you are Hindu when you say, I am a Mohammedan, or I am a Christian or Jain, what are you saying? You are identifying with a thought cloud. Is your body Hindu? Is your mind Hindu? It is your conditioning that creates the clouds. I want you to go beyond the conditioning of the clouds. You are becoming identified with a thought cloud, and you are losing your purity in saying that I am a Muslim, I am a Christian, I am a Hindu, I am a Jain, I am this, I am that. That is why I say religious man indeed is never Hindu, Muslim or Christian. He cannot be. He is the summertime of consciousness, no more clouds. Just pure sky. A religious person cannot be a Hindu or a Muslim or a Christian. He cannot be. He is the summertime of consciousness. When the sky is clear, there are no more clouds floating in the sky. He has no clouds. The sun is there, bright, unhindered, and there is definite space around him. There is silence around him. You will not find any vibe of cloudy consciousness. And on the contrary, when you say I am communist, what are you saying? You are saying that you have been reading Karl Marx, Lenin, Stalin, Mao, that you have become too attached to Das Kapital, that you have become identified with the idea of the class struggle. The class struggle between the poor and the rich, the conflict, that you have become too attached, hypnotized by a dream and utopia that someday in future classless society can be created, that you have become too obsessed with this utopia that you are ready to do anything for it. Even if you have to kill millions of people, you are ready for their own sake, for their own good. This is a cloudy state. When you say I am an Indian, again the same. When you say I am a Chinese, it is same. If you really want to be religious, you have to drop such identities slowly and slowly. But there are certain moments when you cannot, as far as in the present situation, your passport is issued by the country of your birth or the country of your adaptation. You are a citizen of that country. We cannot at the moment avoid this. No idea should ever possess you. No book should be your Bible. No Veda should define you. No Gita should confine you. You should not allow any philosophy, theology, dogma, theory, or hypothesis to overcrowd it. Bhagavad Gita is the light of Krishna. Bible is the light of Jesus. Holy Quran is the light of Muhammad. But what about your light? You are living with the light of others because you have understood, you have more trust in the capability of Krishna, Muhammad or Jesus than your own potentiality. You have lost trust in your own potentiality. Buddha very emphatically says, be a light unto yourself. No candle would like to become the shadow of the other candle. It can use the other candle to light itself, but it wants to have its own light. It is more important to have your own light to guide you than the reflected light of Jesus, Muhammad, Krishna, or anyone. You should not allow any smoke around your flame of consciousness. Only then you are religious. When you do not allow any smoke around your consciousness, only then you are religious. If you ask a religious man who he is, he can say, I am nothingness. Because nothingness is not an idea. It is not a theory. It simply indicates a state of purity when the inner sky is crystal clear. Remember, perception has nothing to do with knowledge. In fact, when you perceive through knowledge, you do not perceive rightly. All knowledge creates projections. Knowledge is a bias. Knowledge is a prejudice. Knowledge is a conclusion. You have concluded even before you have gone into it. For example, you come to me with a conclusion already in your mind. It may be for me, it may be against me. That does not matter at all. If you come to me with a conclusion, then you come with a cloud. Then you will go on looking at me through the eye of your cloud. And naturally your cloud will throw shadows on me. If you have come to me with an idea, this is the right man, then you will find something which goes on supporting your idea. If you have come with an idea, this is a wrong man, this is dangerous, evil, then you will go on finding something which supports your idea. Whatever your idea you come to me, my talks will simply support that. You find every word that comes out of me confirms your conclusion about me. Whatsoever idea you bring is self-perpetuating. It goes on finding proofs for itself. And the man who has come with a prejudice will go on with his prejudice even more strengthened. In fact, he has never come to me. This is what happens. People come to me for transformation with their preconceived ideas. This should be like this. Anytime you tell them something, yes, I know. Yes, I know is the answer. If you know it, then why are you wasting time around me listening to my talks? These are not for entertainment. These are serious. These are talks to shake you up from your roots so that you can start up your journey. To come to me, one needs to come to an awakened one needs to be unclouded, with no prejudice for or against, with no a priori conclusion. You come to see what is there. You do not bring your opinions. Whosoever comes to an awakened one comes with certain kind of opinions. You have heard many things, but you do not believe in any. You simply come to see with your own eyes. You come to feel with your own heart. That is the quality of a religious man. And if you want to know truth, you have to drop all kinds of knowledge that you have gathered down the ages as conditionings or on your own in many lives. Whenever somebody comes to truth with knowledge, you cannot see it. He is blind. Knowledge blinds you. If you want to have a clear eye, drop knowledge. Perception has nothing to do with knowledge. And remember, truth and knowledge do not go together. Knowledge cannot contain the immensity of life and immensity of existence. Knowledge is so tiny, so small, and existence is vast, enormous. How can you contain existence? It cannot. And if you force existence into pattern of your knowledge, you will destroy the beauty of it. You will destroy the truth of it. You will destroy the fragrance of it. Once existence is converted into knowledge, it is no more existence. It is as if a person is carrying a map of India and he thinks that he is carrying India. No map can contain India. The picture of nation is not nation. The picture of moon is not moon. The word God is not God. This is what Lao Tse says. The moment something is spoken, it becomes a lie. The word love is not love either. No word can contain the mysteries of life, and knowledge is nothing but words and words and words. Knowledge is a great illusion. That's why Buddha says, allow nothingness to settle in you. Nothingness means a state of not knowing, a state when clouds do not float into your consciousness, when your consciousness is unclouded, when you are nothing. Nothing goes perfectly well with truth. Only nothing goes perfectly well with truth. Knowledge cannot contain the mysteries of being. Knowledge is against all that is mysterious, all that is magnanimous. The mysterious means that which is not known, that which cannot be known, that which is basically, intrinsically, essentially unknowable. That which is unknown and unknowable. Not only unknown and unknowable, but how can the unknowable be reduced to knowledge? Knowledge goes on collecting pebbles on the shore and goes on missing the diamonds. Knowledge is mediocre, borrowed, never authentic, never original. To know truth, you need an insight, original insight. You need eyes which can see through and through. So when a mind is entirely naked of knowledge, empty of it, does come to know that which is. When there is no knowledge, the knowing happens. When the mind is completely devoid of knowledge, nude, silent, non-functioning, when the mind is in waiting with no ideas of what, just a pure waiting, expectant, but not knowing for what, that you are waiting for what. You have no idea, waiting for the knock of the guest with an open door, but no idea who is this guest before it comes. That's when something happens. Only this much for this morning. Until we meet again, take care and do have a pleasant day.